It's just an infant arachnoid. I think we can take it. Let's do it. Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to Osiris New Dawn, Episode 2, where we are on Day 2 of Proteus 2. Look at that. So that's our little humble alcove, where we got ourselves a primitive stone oven. Looks like it's early morning still. Primitive stone oven, our primitive workbench, our debris hut, and finally a depository for which to store all of the things that we do not need. So next thing on our list that's going to be very important is to make a plutonium forge. That is going to be what we're going to be working on today on the second day. Now I would dare say, and I'm hesitant to condemn anyone, but if for whatever reason you were unable to get a primitive stone oven and a primitive workbench up in the very first cycle, I'm hesitant to call them days as the day-night cycles here are very erratic, but if you are unable to, you may consider starting over. Now, I'm not saying you have to by any means, but that is kind of the high water mark, is you want to get at least, at a minimum, your shelter and a primitive stone oven and a primitive workbench up. Very important stuff. Let's go ahead and, well, here. We're a little low on health. So I think what we'll do is we'll use ourselves a primitive bandage, just so we don't have to listen to that warning anymore. And we're going to continue to work on our engineering experience, which is done really just by smelting this ore into ingots. So once we've smelted everything that we can, which, you know, it would be really great if you could do it maybe a little quicker, but it is what it is. It doesn't take too long, but you get lots of experience. All right, and we're going to turn all the ore we have into ingots so that we can see what we're working with as far as how much experience we have. Now, at first I didn't do it. I saved some of the ore. I wasn't really in a rush to smelt everything, but experience is the name of the game. Okay, let's see where we stand here. Let's go ahead and put all of our ingots in here, and we'll just hold on to our ore. We don't need that. We do need the banana leaves. We don't need that tool yet. Oh, we can't get rid of that. Well, we don't need the oxygen yet. We'll hold on to the meat stew. We don't need that. Got our tree sap, our meat stew. Our chisel is about to break, unfortunately. Let's go inside of our little hut here and see what it would take. To make the chisel, we need the plutonium forge, and to make the plutonium forge, we need more plutonium. We have the iron and the titanium ingots. We just don't have the plutonium. Now, we have gained some levels here. Look at this. So we're going to go ahead and just put 1 point in everything. And then I think we'll go speed and health next. Now, the reason I was saying that it's important to take strength is because we're going to be using melee weapons for quite some time. All right, let's go ahead and gather more rocks, as once our chisel breaks, rocks will be our only way to gather resources, and our goal is to try to move past that as quickly as possible. There's more titanium. That's good stuff, but really what we need is some base metal so that we have a chance to get some plutonium. So we're going to come back over this way across this cliff here. And hopefully those are all, I believe those are all base metal deposits. All right, again, make sure that you're using your hover jets properly when you're coming down from a high area, because fall damage is a thing. And you can only expend roughly about half of your hover jet fuel in one sitting. And of course, once you start mining is generally when you get attacked. What are we looking at here? Larvae Sciliopod. Often attack in pairs. Come on. He's running, so we can get a run on me. Yep. Is there 2 of them, or is that just the one? I don't see a second one. Okay, alright. We're going to continue gathering this base metal and try to get some plutonium. Now, all of the base metals are important. You'll need them for various things. However, the plutonium is what we require to get, and our chisel wore out. So unfortunately, we're down to a bashing rock. So what that means is now we're going to smack rocks with smaller rocks. And as you can see, it's a little bit more of a drawn-out process. But luckily, we had the engineering skill to learn chisels from the beginning of the game, and all we need is a plutonium forge in order to make chisels once again, and then we won't have to be bashing this rock for long. A lot of people, as I've read in reviews and forums, are very upset when they have to resort to the bashing rock, and I can understand it. It is a little bit of an inconvenience, to put it mildly. However, my best advice is that's why you are racing against the clock to get your plutonium forge up quickly. Because as soon as you do, assuming you picked a ranger and you were able to learn the chisel right off the bat, although I don't know, you might be able to learn a chisel with the other ones. That's good. Plutonium, that's what we need. Is it enough to smelt another ingot? It might be, and it is. So I don't... more plutonium. Perfect. Okay, so we're not even going to stay and finish this ore. We're going to head back to our house immediately. Our house. Our debris shelter. This place is very unforgiving. You must always be on your toes. As you can see, the sun is already setting on the other side. Now keep in mind, we are on a moon of this gas giant here in the distance. So the gas giant is the one actually rotating around that star. We're just along for the ride. So some days will be short, some days will be long. At least that's the way it feels. I've even had the game tell me that I passed a day-night cycle while it was still in the middle of darkness. Other times it waits until the sun is fully up. I don't know if that is intentional, but I've assumed that it is. Alright, so now we're going to smelt our plutonium ingots. Very important stuff. We'll get some of this magnesium. We're just going to smelt it all and get as much engineering experience as we can, which also gives us levels, which helps us out with skill points. Now the other good thing is that we're so close to titanium ore, because we're going to start to use that a lot. Titanium and iron generally ends up being pretty important. Copper to a lesser degree. We'll need carbon at some point. We'll talk all about these ores and the best places to find them. If you've been following along and trying to set up in a similar location that I have, which I highly recommend, I should be able to walk everyone to the various areas where these items are. We should have plenty of iron for our plutonium forge. Let's go ahead and make one. We need 2 titanium ingots, okay. And iron, aluminum, copper. I know we made titanium. Okay, there it is. I was going to say. Okay, the plutonium forge effectively replaces the primitive stone oven. We're going to go ahead and put it... we're going to put it right over, let's put it right here. This will work. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do our work from inside of our shelter, but that is just the way it goes. Now, let's see what it takes for a chisel. 2 copper, 5 aluminum, 5 steel, and 1 magnesium. Okay, so remember that steel that we got in the beginning of the game? There's our copper. Iron. Let's just take all of our ingots and see how many chisels we can construct. So we'll go 1 and 2. 2 chisels. Very good. So now we're done with this bashing rock completely. Let's go ahead and just drop that. We'll keep 1 for a backup. Next, we're going to make some steel, because we're going to need lots of steel with what we have here. And you can see that our iron is quickly running out as we're making this steel. Okay. Good. So now we're back to having a chisel. So you can see it didn't stay long with the bashing rock, because as long as you prioritize your plutonium forge and you settle in this area where titanium and copper are plentiful, you'll be okay. Thought I heard something. All right, let's Let's go in our little debris hut for a second because we're going to be in our menu. We're going to assess what we're going to do for tonight. For stat points, let's go ahead and go 1 in stamina, 1 in strength, and we have tons of engineering experience now. So, where do we go from here? Well, glass jars are going to be important to be able to hold more water at a time, but in order to do that, we need glass, which means we need a shovel. Now, unfortunately, the stone shovel is coming soon, so you have to spend 20 points for nothing, sadly. However, the crude metal shovel is only 1 point after that. I think that's their way of apologizing. But before that, before we can go down to shovel, we have to get a wrench. So we're going to need 6, 7 more points before we can make a crude metal shovel and start melting glass. That's important to keep in mind. Combat points. The crude metal axe, unfortunately, is also coming soon, even though it doesn't indicate it, which has been kind of disappointing, because after you pay 20 points for the crude metal axe, you must then pay 30 for the crab scythe, which is actually a very powerful weapon. Now, you can come over here to make the tactical knives, but again, a simple machete, I suppose that's better than nothing. Anyways, we'll get to that. Science points. One of the things we're going to need first is, well, wait a second, because we didn't start with a pistol. So we might actually come this way through combat. It's a little different. In the last few times I've tried to play this game, I have started with a pistol. And I'm not sure why I didn't this time. Alright, let's drink our tree sap. And we're going to eat one of our meat stews. Okay. Now we're going to go over here to our tree. And we're going to get some sap from this tree over here. While we still have some daylight. This is a thunderstorm? No, this just appears to be a rainstorm. There are thunderstorms. You can see them in the distance. They have a lot of lightning strikes. I've not actually been through one, but I've watched them go by. I've been relatively close. We're going to keep taking axes because we're going to be without a tactical knife soon. Alright, I see you. Oop, you stopped. You psyched me out. Come on. Is there 2 of them? It's doing circles around me. There it is. Come on. There you go. As long as I have a tactical knife, I'm not that worried. Alright, let's spend some time getting some berries here. We're going to need a lot of berries from these trees. And don't forget, you get science experience the more you mine these trees. So as long as you can make yourself chisels, and chisels... Thought I heard something. As long as chisels are not in short supply, you should spend a little bit of time mining up some berries and some red berries. You can eat them in a pinch when you need food, and you use them for things like masking tape and primitive bandages. But most importantly, we need that science experience. That science experience, look at all these berries. That science experience is what's going to enable us to research batteries, which will lead to charge packs, which we will need for our pistol, because the goal is to get to where we don't have to melee creatures anymore. Unfortunately, as long as we have to melee creatures, the game is sort of in a hard mode. Meteor shower. You need to always pay attention to the sounds in this game. There's a lot of different hazards that can sneak up on you if you're not paying attention. Alright, so we've got our berries. Let's get some more banana leaves. And then we'll come over here and we'll collect some sap. Alright, so let's finish drinking our water here, or our tree sap. We'll get all topped off. And then we'll fill our glass jar back up. One of the reasons we want to learn to make glass is so we can make more of these jars. So we don't have to stop every time we have an issue and go and look for... It's banana leaves. There's red berries. Okay. So we need berries and red berries. They're 2 different resources, and you need them both for different things. And it's very important that you always have both. So never take it for granted that you have one and do not need the other. So we're going to get ourselves red berries and even more science, and hopefully advance our science skill tree. Unfortunately, we're using a good bit of our battery and our light, which is another reason we want to get our science over to learn how to make batteries, so that we don't have to conserve our light and we can actually adventure out at night. Once you have enough batteries that you can run your flashlight at night without fear of running out, and you also have a pistol that you can reload charge packs into, you effectively can travel at night. And we've survived. We're now day 3, and as you can see, the star is still long gone and far away, even though day 2 notification did not come until the sun was pretty much up. Let's turn off our light to conserve our battery a little bit, since we're just picking up berries. Every little bit's going to help. I do not want to run out of batteries before it's time. So if we look at the skill tree, we now have 19 science skill points, and we're going to go with chemical lighting. And then next will be batteries, 20 science. Okay, so we're a little bit away from that. I think for the time being, there's our structure. We didn't go far. We're going to craft some makeshift bandages. And we're going to craft some masking tape. Enough for another stone axe. Okay. And we're going to have to, at some point, dedicate ourselves to hunting for banana leaves. Banana leaves are going to be very important. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make another stone axe so that we have 2. Because the last thing you want to do is be in a fight and have your only stone axe break. That is bad news. Very bad news. Alright, let's go over here. We'll grab ourselves an iron ingot. Okay. We'll come over here and we'll make a stone axe head and a pipe. Stone blade. Used to make a blade. Crude metal blade. Oh! Oh. It's a crab monster. Oh. Okay, we're just gonna hang out here for a minute. Shard blade. Shard blade is about the same damage as a stone axe. So you can see a shard blade does 10 plus 2 with a 50% critical hit. The stone axe is 9 plus 3, 10% critical hit. So I guess you could argue the shard blade is better. I did not take my stone axe head or the pipe out from my bench. Okay. Well, that's just how that goes. So how do we get to the pistol? We're going to have to go walls, wall corners. That's a lot of military experience. I don't think we're going to get there anytime in the immediate future. But we do need to get to batteries. That is very important. And I think we're going to need solar panels and a chemical station, I believe, if we're going to make batteries. But I'm not sure. Let's see, what does a pathlight take? Pathlight kit. Okay, but that's what I want to construct is a pathlight kit. Oh, is that a chemistry thing? I bet it is. Okay. Infant arachnoid. Nope, not good. Alright, so we're just going to sit here for a bit longer. Okay, we're going to assume that they have moved on. Take these items. Alright. We're kind of out of everyone's eyesight. Let's see what we have here. Inflatable dome kit. Shovel barrel small, solar panel, dragon tooth, pistol charges. So we can't make a pistol here. No. No, go away. So we're still conserving our battery as much as possible. So we cannot make a pistol in the plutonium forge, but we can make pistol charge kits. That really makes starting without a pistol that much more difficult. But to be fair, we started with a knife and a chisel. Now, I've started with various combinations of a knife and a pistol, or a chisel and a pistol. This is the first time I've started with a knife and a chisel. We can make chisels fairly quickly. Knives will take a little bit. Pistols will take even longer. All right, so what we need is to get down here to crude metal shovel and to get over here to batteries, but we're going to need a chemical station, and a chemical station needs a power source, which is the small solar panel. Unfortunately. Let's make ourselves a second stone axe. Our knife is about to break, and these stone axes, unfortunately, do not last very long. Oh, it's right there in front of us. We're going to have to fight. All right. That was why we aimed our door towards this rock, is this shelter only protects you so far as other creatures cannot see you. The moment they have line of sight on you, they will not care that you're in your structure. Very important. Now, even though the crude metal axe head can be made here, you'll notice there's nowhere to make it here in the primitive crafting. And if we go to the plutonium forge, you will see there's nowhere here for a primitive metal axe, and then the same here at the stove. There's nowhere for that here either. The recipe simply does not exist, even though it does not list itself as coming soon, which is a little bothersome. But we'll make do. All right, let's start just... Nope, 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 nope. What is it? I don't know what it is, but we want it to go away. Oh, it's a skiliopod. I worry not about you. Come here. Come on. It's running away. See, it's going to get away. Okay. All right. Well, sadly, we're not going to get that experience then. That is what happens. We sort of need banana leaves, but I don't want to wander very far from where we are. So we're just going to mine up this advanced metal here, and we'll smelt it for experience. Let's turn on our light, get our bearings here. Okay. We'll come up here. Right now, we're just kind of biding our time. We don't want to go on any heavy journeys at night, not with our flashlight being low and our knife about to break. You'll find the stone axes are significantly weaker than the tactical knife, and unfortunately we don't have a pistol. So getting a pistol is going to be kind of our #1 priority. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that we need to do to get to a pistol. And we might end up traveling a little bit to make that happen. Alright, we're getting some engineering points just by mining this metal up, and then we'll get even more once we start turning it into ingots. This advanced metal is very important, though. This titanium, copper, the gold, all of this, very important stuff. And if you'd settled somewhere else, you might find that the base metal is very common and easy to find. However, you might find that the advanced metals are difficult to find. They're not difficult to find everywhere, but I have set up in locations where it was incredibly difficult to locate any advanced metals. Okay, so now that we've smelted all of our ore into ingots, let's go ahead and deposit them in the depository and check out our skill tree. Well, we're going to go inside real quick just to do that, see what kind of experience we got. So we got 22 engineering experience, which is what we needed, 20 for the shovel, 1 for the crude metal shovel. Now, let's look at where we make this crude metal shovel, which I'm pretty sure we're going to need... Oh, hold on, I'm turned around. Primitive workbench is crude metal shovel, right. So 2 iron ingots and 1 pipe. Yeah, iron is also very important, though, and you'll find if you don't make time to go find it that you'll run out very quickly. In fact, we don't have enough iron to make this, unfortunately. So we're going to have to travel a little bit. Because what? It's going to take... Oh, no, it only takes 2. Okay. Perfect. Oof, that was lucky. We had just enough iron. But now we have no more iron. That'll be something we will be focusing on. All right. So now that we have a shovel, you might be asking, what is the importance of the shovel? The shovel gets you sand. The sand gives you little science experience, not a lot, but some, and we take that to the forge to melt it down into glass. Make sure nobody's coming. Of course, to get sand, you must be standing on sand. Here, this might make it easier to see where the sand is. All right, and we'll turn our light off and conserve our batteries. There we go, getting those science points. We're going to need a lot of glass, but we don't have to get it all right now. All right, let's come down here, and we'll start making glass. 2 sand per panel of glass, so we need what, 1 more? Okay. So we'll turn all of our sand into glass. And then we'll be ready to make more glass jars. Once we can make multiple glass jars, and we can make multiple chisels, and we have multiple stone axes, we will be able to travel to get the things to make chemistry stations and ultimately batteries. Oh, we have some arachnoid meat. Well, let's cook that up. That seems like something we want to eat. The meat of the alien that we killed. Yeah, grilled alien meat. Wonderful. Take it. Yum. Okay, well, we don't really need the shovel anymore. I think what we'll do is we'll make another chisel. Nope, we can't. We don't have the... oh, no, it takes, what, steel? We have steel. Aluminum, copper, I don't remember what it takes. We're just going to grab it all. Yep, chisel. 1 and 2. Perfect. We do not want to run out of chisels. So we'll store an extra chisel in here, and then we'll put all these ingots back. And then what we will be looking at after that, let's go ahead and we'll put those in there and keep a stack on us. Bashing rock, we're going to hold on us. Rocks we're going to put in there. These can all get stored in there. Arachnoid tail, all these little bug body parts we don't really need. And the shovel can stay here because we're not going to gather sand unless we're ready to melt it. So now our weight capacity is down to 27%, and we are ready to make the most out of the daylight for the day. So we're going to need iron, but also, especially to make some solar panels, we're going to need carbon. So this day we're going to do a bit of a traveling. Oh, it's just an infant arachnoid. I think we can take it. Let's do it. This time we are the aggressors. Ooh. Ugh. Okay, alright, okay, alright. Let's not... There's our star. And let there be light. Excellent. We're going to need to bandage ourselves. So we'll start with that.
Feels good.
Alright, so from our location, we're going to head this direction. Now I'm going to call it east, but really what I mean is we're going to follow the sun. You'll see this big plateau-like formation here, these jagged rock-looking structures, which I'm not really sure what those are. And then you'll see this giant obelisk over in this direction. That's where we're heading. Oop, don't take the fall damage, please. All right, it's good to travel with your map. You can get used to coordinates. You can also see all those little red dots. That's our home. But it will also identify resources for you. So for example, we're in need of an iron ore node. So if we're just scanning rocks, which you can do at a distance with your map, there you go. You can find one that is pure iron and change course. Ugh, no, Skiliopod. Ooh, there's another one behind me. They often attack in pairs. Okay, all right, all right. Where are you? Come on, here we go. No, no. Whoa, okay, okay. There's one. There's the second one. Oh, we have a suit breach. Okay, we're gonna patch up the suit. Where's the other one? Okay, we got one. Oh, the other one's pinned down over here, confused. There you go. What do you think of that? Ooh. Oh, they push you around. Oh no, our knife broke. Okay, we're switching to the stone axe. Where'd you go? Yeah, I'm not gonna wait for you to ambush me later. We're having this fight now. Where'd it go? Ooh. Oh, it's spinning around me in a giant circle. There you go. Come on. You want some of this? I know we need to heal. We also need the military experience so we can get better weapons. There you go. Don't run. Don't run. It's gonna run away. There you go. Yeah, we need that military experience. You cannot run away. That is not allowed. Let's go ahead and eat some berries. Get a little bit of our hunger up, and then we'll do one of these primitive bandages. Did I not heal? Okay. Alright, so we'll go back to our iron ore node that we were mining before we were attacked. And then when we get to the top of this mountain, I will help everyone get their bearings on exactly where we are heading. Alright, but we do need to stop and get this iron. We're incredibly short on iron. Okay. Oh, look, more iron. Oh, that's great. Okay, so the iron nodes are up on this hill. And our home is over there in that direction. Okay, just trying to get my bearings. I'm somewhat familiar with the map in this starting area, and I'm trying to do research for every episode so that I can continue this as a how-to. So we're continuing up this cliff in the direction of the giant obelisk, which if you get anywhere near it, you can't miss it. Those fields over there have nitrogen and oxygen coming out of geysers, and there's a little flat area over there where I set up my base, I believe, in the first attempt at this season. Let's get some more iron. Where we are headed is on the other side of that cliff, just left of the obelisk. You'll see a forest over here that I'm going to show you, and it's basically on the other side of the cliff from that forest. So we'll talk about how to get there, how to get back, and the important things to get along the way, like the iron. Very important. We're going to need a lot of this. And we're here, and we have chisels, so we might as well get it. There's no reason not to. And pay attention to our carrying weight. We're up to 44%. And we need the iron to make steel. And you need steel for a lot of things as you level up. And for whatever reason, you don't use much aluminum, magnesium, and all of that stuff out of the base metal nodes. So finding pure iron nodes is actually very, very helpful. Alright, this will be the last one we'll get. And then we'll focus on moving on. Alright, chisel broke. That's why we make a bunch of them. And of course, having iron is going to help us make more chisels. And other than the iron, we have everything else we need next to our house to make chisels. You really want to get to chisels as fast as possible. Having to slam rocks with smaller rocks is a really tedious process. Okay, so you'll have this forest over here to the left. It is full of gnats. And no, gnats are not pesky little flies. Oh, the sun is going. Gnats are generally little aggressive creatures that try to jump on you and bite you. Okay, and there's some parasites over there. We're going to avoid that. Parasites are small. They're really not deadly, but they're going to breach your suit very often. They'll puncture a hole in your suit. So you don't want to mess with parasites. They're very challenging to get in melee sometimes because they zigzag a lot and they're very small and they look like horseshoe crabs. Who is it? Skiliopod? 2 of them? Should have known. Luckily, you're not going to run into much more other than Skiliopods in this starting area. And the good news is they don't hurt too bad, but they can overwhelm you and breach your suit quite quickly if you're not paying attention. Now, they will try to back up to get a run on you, so as long as you stay close to them, there's not a lot that they can do really that's super aggressive. And then, of course, once they're injured, they're going to try to get away from you about like this, and you don't want to let them because you want that experience. And he's gone. The other one is out of sight, so the music stopped and he's right behind us. Okay. But every melee hit is military experience, so you definitely want to engage the fight when it's daytime and it's a creature that you can handle. It can get a little frustrating chasing these with the stone axe, but again, you don't have to kill them to get the experience, you just have to get a hit on them. There you go. All right. Good stuff. Now we're going to come back up here because we need these banana leaves. In fact, we're going to use another bandage right now. You need banana leaves for every bandage. And unlike berries, you can't just sit and hit the tree over and over again and get as many as you need. So for that reason, I come here to this area where the geysers are instead of going over to the forest where all the gnats are. So coming through here, you should be able to get quite a few banana leaves. These small trees will give you 1. These larger trees should give you 2. Well, sometimes they only give you 1 as well. Correlation does not equal causation, as sometimes you can get 2 from the little ones, and I think it's just random. But we're going to stop and get every single one of these so that we can have as many bandages and also masking tape for stone axes that we could need. And we're going to get as far as we can while we have daylight. Now, eventually you can make an inflatable dome kit that allows you to travel and be a bit more nomadic. We're not at that point yet. Okay, the Orsex are like these little ostrich creatures, and even though their bar is red, they're not hostile. They will not mess with you if you do not mess with them. That Skiliopod, though, it's a different story. Let's stay away from that Skiliopod. We're going to climb up this cliff. Looking at the time, it's just about time to wrap things up. What's that sound? It's just the music. So we're going to go ahead and get up here to the top of this mountain so I can show you where we're going. Alright, so here you have the forest on the other side of this giant rock, and then this over here is going to open up into like a sandy valley. Our home is somewhere back over there. That's the plateau we were looking at. Just trying to give everybody their bearings. This is the giant obelisk, which I've been curious about, but it's buried. We'll see that in another episode. For now, we're just trying to get into this valley, and we're going to be coming back in the darkness, but the game might reset the day on us when we log in between episodes, as it sometimes does. Now, anytime you see wide open areas of sand, you need to be cautious. This game has incredibly large predators that can come at you at a moment's notice, and you need to be on your toes. But the whole reason we're here is for one thing specifically, and that thing is... Ooh, I don't like these wide open spaces. That thing is over there. So from the obelisk, and from where we came from, it's this mountain range is where we need to get our carbon from. To my knowledge, this is the closest, most easily accessible area for carbon deposits near where you spawn. And luckily our home is built close enough that it is just a bit of a day trek, and we got some iron and banana leaves along the way. That being said, this is where we're going to wrap things up. So this has been Osiris New Dawn, episode 2. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time watching, because as always, I've had a good time playing. So please come back next time as we gather our carbon and get ourselves set up for some science work in the next episode. But until next time, take care.